when I ain't had no money, I still had sauce. If you don't got no sauce, then you're lost. But you can also get lost in the sauce.
What's happening? DJ Sturgis here, man. Back with another episode of SauceTV. Of course, man, you got to keep God first and always let your sauce drip, especially in this new year. You know what I'm saying? 2024. And, got a lot of requests of people to come on, of course, and I was just going through some things, and I said, you know what? I'm going to just have the people on that I want to have on. You know what I'm saying? The people I know who got some sauce, the real movers and shakers, the people who really shaking shit up out here, and somebody who's definitely doing that, been doing that in the city of Atlanta. The hip-hop hoarder himself. Everybody knows this. If NuFace wasn't there, then it didn't happen. My guy, straight out of the 313 Detroit.
Hey.
Migrated down to the ATL some years ago. Now he's a staple in the Atlanta culture, man. My guy, NuFace, bro.
Hey, man.
It's good, man.
Honor, man.
Yes,
man, you got one of them like sway-like intros, man. I might just need to record that and just play that everywhere I go, man.
Hey, man.
NuFace, what you do? Just listen to Sturgis tell it. You know what I'm saying? It's an honor to be here, man. Been watching you doing your thing, man. Once I got the text, it's like whatever you need, man, because you've always supported the movement. Once we met, been locked in ever since, man. So what you mean? I had to pull up.
Yeah, man. Like, we officially met when you had the museum.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Where was the museum at again? It was like downtown.
140 Peachtree at the Vault. Originally was a bank, a white-owned bank back in the day where blacks couldn't even bank, and they had a vault and people shared their money, but they didn't even allow blacks to be in it. So years later, it was a female owner of it that took it over. I was introduced to her, and then we talked about doing a museum in the bank, and I filled it up with my whole collection in the blackest genre of music, hip hop.
Yeah, major facts. Pulled up on them, and the whole bank was full from the entrance to the stairs, all the way up, all the way down to the basement where the actual vault is. Everything had something, and it was all hip-hop memorabilia. It was a lot of things in there that I thought, I was like, damn, man, you know what? You just had to be outside during this time to know about this. And from there, man, that's when relationship started, man. And
even looking back, like I said this last year being the 50th year of hip-hop and all these exhibitions and installations, I was like, I did it before.
Yeah.
3 years ago in the pandemic.
Yeah.
And people pulled up.
That too.
Schools pulled up. I was doing tours, and I was a little bit, not even ahead of my time, but I was doing it before it was popular. Wow. You know what I'm saying? So, and even before that, you did a live during the pandemic with my brother Rob Markman.
Yeah.
And he said, he saw me on the live, and then he's like, you should check out NuFace. And then he's like, all right. And then that happened. So it's like one of those things where the universe just takes care of itself. You never worry about who put you in these situations. So like you said, man, but you pulled up to the museum, man, and it's been on ever since, man.
Yeah, man. And I really want to go back to the beginning of NuFace. Mm-hmm. Like, you originally from Detroit.
Detroit, Michigan, man. Born and raised, West Side, 7 Mile, across the street from the hip hop shop. You know what I'm saying? When you'll see like Maurice Malone, Denim, Joe Louis, Rena Cobo Hall, Eminem's 8 Mile, but I represented 7 Mile and 6 Mile. I stayed on 6 Mile and 7 Mile at different points in my life.
So what was it like coming up in Detroit back then, man? Because it seems like you was there during the heyday.
Yeah. Well, I was a kid, so it was like, I was at that point, when you get separated from where your parents get separated.
Yeah.
So it's like I had like 2 lives. Like my mother was independent, so I was latchkey kid. She was always working, had multiple jobs, so I really had the house to myself. But I was, in school. Like, it was weird because I loved school and being social back then because I had all the cool things and magazines and tapes. So if I was to get in trouble, my punishment was, ironically, like I couldn't go to school.
Wow.
Or you couldn't have company or even girl company. Only way you could have girl company if you had all A's. So I was one of them people who was like, I'm gonna have all A's, but my citizenship was like bad. Like I would finish first. I would always get A's, but my citizenship would probably be 3, which was like unsatisfactory is what they called it. So it was like I would finish first and would mess with other people, class clown type things. But during that time, man, it was a great period because hip hop was at its finest. Detroit always got a gumbo of music. We wasn't just listening to us. We had our music. We had our East Shams, Awesome Dre, Chaos and Maestro, Smiley, female MCs. We had our Proof. We had our Dealers and Slum Villages. man. But it was like I would go to the record store every day, and I was an artist, so album covers really got me. So I was always fascinated by the album covers, and I didn't know who I was buying. I would just buy it off the album covers, but that was like a Compton's Most Wanted or a SIBO or, Richie Rich. And I started buying all this West Coast stuff, you know what I'm saying? Mr. Fab, Too Shorts, E40s. I was really on to them, but I was also buying those Outcasts and those Goody Mobs. So they came out right when I was leaving. So that would probably be my introduction to coming to Atlanta because of Outkast saying things like Greenbrier and Caught the Martyr, the 86 in your hood. It made it easier for me to do that college trip and come down here and check out these colleges, which we did a college tour first in 94 with CAU, Morris Brown, Morehouse, and Spelman. But after that, when I got here, it was like, y'all got 2 hours and then come back. But when I got here, I hopped on that MARTA. I was used to that in Detroit, getting on our public buses. So I hopped on it, and it got on full of traffic, and we were like stuck in traffic. But I just got to see like, what the hell is going on? And this ended up being what was known as now as Freaknik. So it's like, oh, this is crazy because they list bumping music, women hanging out a sunroof. You seeing dookie ropes and finger waves and bras and biker shorts and pimps with gold teeth. And like, I was in heaven. You'll see JD riding 4 bikes, Red Man at Lenox Mall, Too Short. We go to clubs, Uncle Luke doing freak shows at the clubs. And it's like, oh, this is heaven for me because in Detroit you wasn't getting access to people like that. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't nowhere for them to just. They would come, maybe do shows at the arena, but they wasn't coming to the hood. And then when I seen them in the hood and the people that I know, I couldn't be a fan because we was in the street. It was just weird. So, but then when I got to Atlanta, it was easy for me to be like, can I get this picture with you or the autograph? And I was already a hip hop fan at that point. So coming to Atlanta in 94, 95, I was like in heaven. This was like Hollywood back then. So I was in heaven, bro.
Nice. So you came down on a college visit and wound up in the middle of Freaknik, and you just said from there, I ain't going back.
Yeah. I always seen other people go back too, but it was just something about Detroit. Like, it was always a ceiling. Like, and then there was another thing because I was in a circle and I was familiar with Big Meech. And so I was like around in the circle and I heard him saying he's moving to Atlanta. Yeah. So by the time I got to Atlanta, he already had a billboard. So I'm looking at that as like motivation. Like, I just seen him in Detroit. That's Meechy from the 50 Boys. Oh shit.
So the world is BMF's billboard was already here when you got
Okay. So it's like, for me, that's motivation. Same thing with the Eminem transition. I would see him or come over there to the hip hop shop buying T-shirts. It'd be ciphers. The next time I got here, it was Lakewood, 4th McPherson. He on the Up and Smoke tour with Dr. Dre. Yeah. So this is people I'm seeing in real time in Detroit. But by the time I got here in Atlanta, it's like they up. Wow. And I'm like, I hadn't had NuFace there, but it was one of those moments like I just seen the evolution just blow right before my very eyes in real time. So it motivated me. Like, one, Atlanta is that city because it can happen in real time, and two, they came from where I came from, so it gave me motivation. Like, oh, I made the right decision, and I was never gonna go back.
And you talk about a ceiling in Detroit. Like, what was that ceiling for you?
It was only gonna be factories, working at Ford, working at Chrysler, working in the streets, or just sitting on that porch chilling in the hood. Just like for me. And I could sit there, and it was like my mentality was like, it's got to be more to this, because I would have fun, but it was like I would see and I would do it. I would see other people do it every day, and I would do it. Like I said, my parents were separated, so I only got that taste on the weekend. Yeah. But on the weekdays, I'm going through school and I'm social and I'm seeing people that have dreams and talking about college and seeing this other side of life. But on this side, on the weekend, I'm seeing my uncles, they in the streets. I'm seeing my cousins, we in Herman Garden Projects. We seeing all this stuff. So it's like, but what's next, though? And it wasn't bad, because these niggas was in the hoods. I'm riding in cars, getting dropped off in Monte Carlos, Regals, cars with 100-spoke Daytons. You know, I'm having it. Niggas in my circle having it, but it was like, but nobody had the next level. Like, and even the next level was entrepreneurs. It was like, but I would own a barbershop or a car wash or a beeper shop. But to me, it was like, it gotta be more. Yeah. And I would see somebody like a Esham. He was an independent record label, Real Life Production. That was high, but to me, it was like, it got to be more than just these 4 East, 6, 7 mile, 8 mile, you know what I'm saying, type thing. And like, what's next for that? Yeah. So Atlanta was like that way out for me. And I seen movies like Different World, Do the Right Thing, and hearing Outkast talk about Greenbrier Mall and Lenox. So it was like, no, yeah, I got to at least try that out.
Yeah.
Because I knew I couldn't work in the streets. I even tried it. Like, niggas like, and rather, what they would do is if I asked for money, the niggas would give me like weed to try and sell.
Yeah.
And I was like, I get it, I got it, but it wasn't for me. And they knew that too, because it was moves that they was trying to make, and I'd be like, can I go? And they're like, no, just stay back and we'll come back and get you. And I was like, yeah, okay. They was protecting me, and which let me know. And they're like, no, you gonna be that one. And I was always the one that had the license. Yeah. So it was like, I was just seeing that they were I kind of didn't like it, but they protected me. Like, no, you a little bit different. So I did all that to like leave and make them proud. Like, and I'm able to go back, and they was like, you know, they glad they did that. So that made my day.
Yeah, and you talk about being that one. I remember you shared a story with me at the museum. It was over the purple tape.
Oh yeah, Raekwon.
Yeah,
literally saved my life. You know what I'm saying? Because it came out, and I always would go to tape stores. Even back then, Tuesdays was the day it came out. But if you were privileged enough and was a fan like me, they may give it to you on Monday.
Okay.
So I remember it was the weekend. This was the purple tape. Raekwon only built for Cuban Links I didn't know it was even purple at that time, but you know, I went to buy it on Monday. But it was an opportunity where I could have got a ride to the tape store, but they was like, we got to make a move to the east side, and then we'll come back, and then we'll take you to the tape store. But I'm like, in Detroit, it's like everything, it was never fast. Like, when I go places, I'm in and out. But I know if we go on the east side, we're going to do a couple things. It's going to be a long time. Me in my head, like, I just got my headphone. I'm ready to listen to the purple tape. I'm ready to listen to this new Raekwon. I'm ready to listen. So I was like, no, I'm going to just ride the bus. So they dropped me off, and I just rode the bus to the store on 6 Mile. Caught the bus. It's right on the stop. Went in there, and I bought that, and E40 tape or AZ. It was like a couple tapes. Spice one, I think, came out that day. But I bought 3 tapes that day. But Raekwon was the one that I bought. Went to school with it, listened to it on the bus to school, got there. And then, you know, after school, still listen to it. And I'm like, you know what I'm saying, waiting to hear back from the crew. Did they get back, or did they even go to the east side? Or just to let them know I got the tape and what's up. It's like, nah, it was like a shootout. They got involved in the accident, and the shootout. And, 2 people got killed, and 1 was like injured in the accident. And I'm like, oh shit! Like, I could have been in that car, you know, some before like Doughboy let me out though, you know what I'm saying, like Trey. But I didn't. I did say let me out, because I was like, I'd rather do that, and because of that, you know, I wasn't in that car. So, you know, I always say this, and I really mean it. Like, hip hop saved my life, but in particular the purple tape.
Yeah, dang. Dope moments, man. And I remember just hearing that story, and I was just like, you know what? That explains why we standing here in this museum right now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Hey, so like, what year did you officially get to Atlanta?
95.
95.
I enrolled at Clark Atlanta in 1995.
Okay.
First group I ever seen perform was Goody Mob. Shaka Zulu was like the MC. He had worked at radio. He was the host. And it was Channel Live, the Fugees, Lauryn Hill, I remember there, and Goody Mob. And ironically, like, something happened. Somebody threw something on the stage, and CeeLo jumped off the stage, right in just where he thought the bottle came from, and jumped off. But he ended up spraining his ankle. And Andre 3000, I always remember him saying, "That's why niggas can't do stuff in the hood, because stuff like that." And da-da-da-da. But decades later, CeeLo got an autobiography, and he wrote about that in a book. And it hit me like, dang, that's like first NuFace was that moment, because I remember being in, like, I'm standing next to him doing that, you know what I'm saying? And then later, a year later, 96, Outkast Elevators came out, and they came to CAU, and they signed tapes. They gave out meet and greet, and there was a line of people, and that was like my first Atlanta autograph was Outkast.
Wow.
Andre and Big Boy, and there's a picture of me shaking Big Boy's hand from 1996.
Yeah, and you post that a lot, man.
Yeah, because that's like, for real. People be saying they was there, and it's like, and I know Taye, he's there, and that's my personal partner from CAU. He worked with LaFace and DTP, like, and it's in real time. So when people be saying like they a fan, and now I'll be like, no, this is my proof. Like, and for me to have this relationship, like, and years later, even last year, Big Boy was like, either you there or you wasn't, like NuFace.
Yes.
like
He said that on live TV.
Yeah, so it's like, you know, in real time. This is not no cap. This is not. I can't make him say that. I wasn't in the room with him. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you know, I'm creating like new history. You know, I love documenting and saying I was there, but to see the artists that I grew up and called heroes, that they acknowledge it is like a bonus to me.
Exactly, and then it's like you got autographs and pictures with Outkast. You can't even really get them two together, and if they are together, you ain't gonna know about it until afterwards. Man. And just getting an autograph or a picture with them two together at the same time these days, bruh, probably not gonna happen, man.
Unicorn.
Yeah, man, you probably will win the lottery for you.
And I got it separately too. I got Andre. He was at department store on Edgewood when Jeezy did a playlist party, they called it. And Jeezy
I was there that night.
Jeezy was there and fucking over there. It was your boy Moss B, Tamiko Hope, Buddy Chilio, my guys. And then once he walked out, man, I was like, let's get this picture, man. And it was, and I seen him multiple times before that and throughout the years, but I just never would know, like you say. And I'd be just, once I got the picture, every time I see him, I was like, because he's that one I don't have an autograph from that first one, that 1996 single, but he's the only one that I don't. And Big Boy, I've seen him at every in-store. I've seen him everything. So I will say this, and I manifest this. He will be at center stage, and your boy NuFace will be there. He going to be playing the flute, but I'm pulling with Outkast.
I'm pulling up too.
Fuck that. Hey. You going to sign his Outkast stuff, and I got the flute album. So what's up?
Man, I got the limited edition, the Love Below speaker box vinyl. $791 out of 1,000. My goal is to get both of them to sign it. And I told Greg Street, because that was his idea. I said, I want you to sign it too. I need all three of y'all to sign it. You know, Lord willing, tomorrow I'll have a Grammy-winning artist straight from Atlanta, Killer Mike, Michael Render, off the Michael album, limited edition. Boom.
4-time Grammy winner now. He got his one with Outkast. Now he got 3. Sweet. We got the brooms on sale too, man. Get
$100 a pop.
Get you a broom, man. Sweep.
Yep, they'll sweep the bullshit out your life.
Yes, indeed.
So when you was a student at Clark Atlanta, did you already know that this is what you was going to be doing? Like, did you start formulating the plan then? Or?
No, I was just living like a CAU. Like, I really wasn't even like a student. Like, I don't remember. I took Arabic classes. That's probably my most vivid memory. And I got okay grades, but, man, I was at Lenox every weekend. I was boosting. I worked at Kroger's. I was taking stuff from Kroger's and selling it in my dorm room. Like, I had a store. Like, I was the first person with a PlayStation. I was the only person at CAU with a PlayStation. Right. So my room was like an arcade. Yeah. And then I worked at Kroger, so I would bring the stuff from Kroger's, like the chips, the ramen noodles, the lighters, the chips, the snacks, everything, the candy, blunts, joint papers, everything. I just posted about Stiegel's too. It was a restaurant, Stiegel's, wing on wheat, man. I remember people ordered that, and I sent my dog Phil to go, and we was doing delivering. I was like, man, that was really Uber Eats back then. Yeah. Like, my dorm room was like a trap because it had the arcade. Like, it was always full. Like, I couldn't even leave, and everybody would always stay. And then my best moments with one of my good friends, I left, and people, of course, like I said, was always in it. When I got back, he gave me a cup of money and was like, this is what you made while you were gone. And I was like, that's real shit. Like, because this is my friend, but he could have just been like, shop clothes, or he ain't here, or took the money or whatever. He was like, no, here's the back for the money. And I was like, that's Atlanta. Because in Detroit, that probably wouldn't have happened, I don't think, unless it was like a tight circle. But I was like, nah, I fuck with Atlanta, man. This real niggas. And he was from New York, man, and a friend to this day, bro.
That's the sad one, man. So you finished that, Clark?
Hell no. So what happened is, I brought everything from Detroit, my whole world from Detroit to Atlanta, stayed in the dorm rooms for 2 years. Then we moved off campus to over there on Wesley Chapel. Okay. Over there by
East side.
Yep, right up, called the 86 downtown. That was the bus we called. It was a McDonald's, Dairy Queen over there. But what happened is, I stayed with 3 roommates, ironically, all from Detroit. We all stayed in the same dorm and everything. We stayed together. Me and my girl at the time was coming home, and we see the apartment complex. We walking, and we just seeing smoke. Yeah. So we get there, and I'm like, we're getting closer. And I'm like, getting closer. I'm like, oh, this our apartment. And I'm getting there like, and our shit was up in flames. My roommate said he was cooking some French fries and maybe needed oil or or something. He left, but left with the French fries on the stove.
Yeah.
So everything was up in flames. And like I said, I told you I was like hustling, so it wasn't no banks, it was nothing. So a lot of money was in the apartment. Yeah. So I went inside the apartment, the burning apartment, when they was like, don't. And I'm trying to find my room. Even when I was able to go upstairs, but I could see where my room was probably had the most shit, and it was just basically on the floor. So I'm looking, trying to find whatever I can. I found like VCR tapes, whatever I can kind of salvage. But most importantly, I'm thinking my bed was right here. The money with the sock is got to be somewhere around here. Yeah. And I found like a couple $100 bills. I'm finding some money right there, and I'm just like, all right, I'll do this. And like it was a point I had to go to Federal Reserve because long as the strip was in the $100 bill, they would salvage it. So it was like a point where I was like, I'm in the Federal Reserve on some, is this one good? I'm like, yeah, this one, no. So I'm literally like watching my life savings like go from this to like, and leaving with something like, and I was like, damn. And of course my collection, I had Nintendo 64, like everything. And even some of my collection to this day, the videotapes or the album credits from the cassette, it won't open because of the moisture from the fire and the water and everything. So every time I look at my collection, and a lot of people be like, you got everything. Like, I'm like, y'all don't know I lost everything too. That's the story a lot of people don't know, but that house fire. So I wasn't, and I was an artist. I went to Clark for fine arts. So in high school, I was making t-shirts, Bart Simpson t-shirts, iron on. I draw a picture and everything. So to your question, I was an art person. So, you know, art, you didn't really do assignments. They would give you a portfolio, and at the end of the year, you turn in your art portfolio. My shit was in the house. And that's a semester's worth of drawings and art. And you can't, well, at that point, I'm like, I lost everything. So mentally, I wasn't in the artistic space to be trying to redraw everything. So I just bowed out, 3 years in. And I wasn't able to finish. And ironically, Kanye West came out with College Dropout, and I was like, yeah, that's what I am. Fuck it. It's cool. But I didn't finish. And, that's one thing I do want to kind of finish because that was a historical place, experience and everything. So, but I didn't finish. I was, but I went for 3 years.
At least you got the 3 in, man. I tried to go to Clark. It ain't work out like that.
Oh, man, yeah. And that's what it's saying.
Too high.
Oh, yeah. And I had one of those scholarships where they paid for the first year and the last year.
Oh.
And I was hustling. So I got to the second year, and I was in the third year, and I was like, okay, I'm almost here. And then the fire happened. So it's like, so close, but shit happens, literally.
Damn, so the fire happens, and then you had to, pivot. You had to push the reset button, and instead of getting into fine arts, you started doing what?
So pivot at that point, like I said, I had a girl at the time, and she was pregnant. I didn't know at the time of the house fire, so we stayed in the shelter until we got our feet right. But what happened is, I had no clothes, and I'm from Detroit, so we talking Fila, like we talking about like 30 pair of Filas, Coogis, Gators, like I said, Sergio, like suits and everything gone. So I'm like, I'm shopping at Goodwill at this point, and I'm shopping, but I'm like, I don't want it to be looking like the same as everybody else. So I just started getting jeans or shirts and just drawing messages on it, or writing NuFace on it, or writing any little cool thing and matching it with my daughter at the time, like she was a baby. And so I write maybe her initials and my initials and a little thing, and I wrote NuFace on it because at the same time my other pivot was going to New York and buying clearly it was bootleg, but going to the fashion district, going to the warehouses, buying Fubu, Aniche, Coogi, all these name brand clothes, but buying them at discounted prices and bringing them back to Atlanta and selling them to niggas in the trap. Yeah. So it was like I'm selling stuff that I made, but also Coogi and all these other clothes and selling them to people. So that's where I pivoted in making the clothes. So I called it NuFace because one, I was new in Atlanta, and two, I was buying the new clothes from New York. So it's like a double entendre of the name, and I was just new in both places, so I called it NuFace, and I started writing that on the clothes as my my tag. And then I started making clothes for like comedians. And like, so Carlos Miller, he was wearing my stuff early, and I would make it for him, but he ended up wearing it on stage. Or K-Dub will end up wearing it on Who Got Jokes. So a lot of these early comedians that you see now booming, I was making clothes for them, and rappers as well. It transitioned into rappers. But that was just like my way of saying thank you, because I would support them, and I was like, man, you hard. And if you kept saying this in the song, so Carlos' line at the time was "fuck with me." You know, that's like a Atlanta slang, like, man, fuck with me, boy.
Fuck with you,
yeah, I'm gonna fuck with you. So I would always make his shirts called "Fuck with Me," or Chris Smokey Jones. His thing was "Set It Off." So I would write "set it off" messages on it, or I did remix Chick-fil-A's line was "eat more chicken," but I said "eat more pussy." So I would sell those to artists and stuff like that, and I was but it was really creating relationships to these people that I was selling. So I went from that to clothes, and that was NuFace clothing.
And then at some point, you opened up an enterprise or a Hertz or something?
Avis Rent-A-Car.
Avis. Okay.
Yeah. So I transitioned from that female, another relationship, to a new girlfriend, and her mother owned Avis Enterprise franchises.
Okay.
So that relationship afforded me to, one, start working there, and then eventually becoming a franchisee. So I ran the South Lake Morrow location by South Lake Mall.
Hey, Clayco!
Yeah, so we was on Clayco.
Right by the mall. I remember that. Dog. That building's still there, too.
Yeah,
the building's still there.
Olive Garden was over there. It was a Chinese place. And what's crazy is I would take my breaks and go to the food court at South Lake.
Yeah.
And people be knocking on the door, and I'm like, oh, I'm right in the back washing the car, and pull around. So I own that location. I own Jimmy Carter Boulevard. It's by a Walmart and a movie theater. And then we own Memorial Drive on Highway 78 by the Kroger's Plaza. So I ended up running all those, but it was like a balance, because I was living a life, like, because the money was great.
Yeah.
But I wasn't walking in my purpose. Like, I had the married, we had the picket fences, we had the house in Fayetteville, the girls' school was across the street from a farm. It was like the best education in Georgia, like everything, but I wasn't like mentally like in the right place. I was able to go out, like I was living like that daddy life, taking them to school in the morning, going to work, picking them back up to school, doing the homework, doing the hair, whatever, putting them in the bed, and then do some NuFace shit, go to the comedy club and do that, and then maybe get another nap and then do the same thing over. And it's like this repetition. And then you get to the Avis Rent-A-Car and people make a reservation, and we weren't in control of the cars. You know, the airport brings us cars, but if somebody make a reservation and I don't have cars, and people taking that anger out on me. And it was just like, y'all ain't gonna keep disrespecting me like that. So it was like, this is not where I'm mentally being now. I had to sacrifice money or just be in purpose, walking in purpose and being mentally happy. And so I stopped doing that, and that's been like maybe 13, 14 years. So I really haven't, that wasn't even a job, but I haven't had a job since then.
Dang, so it was like 2010, 2009.
Yeah, yep. Mm-hmm.
So you're married, you got kids, house, car notes, all of that, but you feel like you're not walking in your purpose.
Mm-hmm.
So what was that decision like? Because you got all these responsibilities.
Well, it was basically reacting to the universe, reacting to you. It was like sometimes God will show you if you're ready or you're not. And got separated from a relationship. And I still was working at the Avis, so that's kind of hard, because I'm working and communicating with her mother, and we broke up, and she's like, that's my mama, but I'm like, we partners. And it's like, it has to happen. So it was like, let me just make it easier for everybody. I'll just step out. I'll step out. Y'all can have y'all relationship. We do the kids thing, and she took the kids to North Carolina, and it works out. I'm able to visit them. They come here, and I just had to find that type of peace. But it was one thing. She was like, well, you were doing it, the relationship, because of the money and everything. And that's how she felt. I'll never say you were right or wrong, but here I am, kind of successful, 15 years removed. You know what I'm saying? And it's still love with her mother. We talk, that she always said it, we'll never throw you away. You still family, her mother. And that relationship is so solid. Real. She still watches my kid, that's her grandkid. So it's like, and the relationship is great. You know what I'm saying? So it was just a learning experience, but it taught me, speak up, because I let other people control or just make that move when I should have said, I should have spoke up and saying, this is what's wrong, or I'm not feeling comfortable here, but I let the universe take care of it. You know what I'm saying?
So when the universe was taking care of the situation, the universe was telling you it's time for you to start doing nothing but hip hop shit.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Just saying yes to everything. I read a book called A Year of Yes by Shonda Rhimes.
Okay.
And a book, ironically from my mother-in-law, in a book called Who Moves My Cheese, speaking about how to react, and that's basically speaking about a rat in a maze, and if you move the cheese, and how to adapt to life happening to you, and how to adapt to it. And then Shonda Rhimes' Year of Yeses, she wrote Grey's Anatomy, How to Get Away with Murder, Grey's, and all those shows. Even what's the one with Olivia Pope? What's the Scandal? Scandal, yeah. So she wrote all those, and she was happy and had her daughter, but she was talked about, a year where she just gonna say yes to everything because she was so busy, so she had to turn a lot of things down. Yeah. But she said she gonna do a whole year where she says yes to everything. Anybody something offered. So I started doing that, and people asking me, you mind pulling up? You mind coming here? Or you mind meeting me here? And I just started saying, you come to my podcast or come on this show or 85. I'll be there. And that turned into the NuFace was there. And then it was like, well, how can I add value to while I'm being there, like posting about it or speaking about it or bringing somebody else with me that can add value to it. So that's where that trying to transition in, because I stopped doing clothes. One, because I started making clothes during that baggy era. So all the clothes that I made was like tall tee era, baggy hat, baggy jeans. So it was like, nah, let me just do this hip hop shit. And Atlanta's one of the places where it's a concert every time. And so I had this collection, but it's like it would always just stayed at home. Like people would come to the house and looking at it, and I'm like a tour manager at the house. Like, so let me take it outside to the show. And that's when it just started. Like, let me keep a Sharpie everywhere I go. If it's a show in Atlanta, who's on the bill, who might be there, let me bring this there. And then that's when that whole, history and legacy of the NuFace was there, and Tales of a Hip Hop Hoarder started. Just every show I was there, and I always collected ticket stubs from that very first show that I attended too. So that's where that kind of transition at.
Damn, man, and that's amazing. So you already was on your hip hop hoard and shit. Like you was keeping everything.
Yeah, I just kept it at home. I never threw anything away. I always collected. I was always in the bookstores buying the magazines, Source, XXL, Vibe magazines, Scratch, Blaze, every rap magazine out, Ozone magazine, every rap magazine that was out, and comic books still, basketball cards, everything. I just never kind of aged. I never grew up, ironically. Like, my kids would tell you, my house looked like a toy store. Like, it just looked like I never aged, and that's why I love that J. Cole song, Forever Young. Like, I'm mentally still that kid because, once you start growing and aging, your life changes. And, once you stop learning, you're dead once you stop learning. If you know everything, what else to prove? So it's like, that's why people call me a hip-hop hoarder or historian, but I teach what I just learned sometimes. People think I know everything. I'm still learning, and I just share it in real time. You know what I'm saying? So that's where that came from. But I never threw anything away. And a lot of, like, to that time in Detroit, people would go to jail a lot. And like, go to the spot, it got raided, but go grab, my Nintendo or my stereo, my subwoofers, and I would keep it. They Nintendo, and I would keep it. And then when they get out of jail, years later, I still have it. And they be like, you want it? I'd be like, you want it back? Like, no, it's cool, because I knew it was in good hands, or, so, and it was like, I knew it was in good hands. So a lot of people started doing that to me, like, man, here, take this, because I know. I heard so many stories of people saying my grandma threw this away. I went to college or I went to the army and my mama threw this, didn't know the value. So I was like, no, I'm going to be that dude that, like, keep things in pristine order and just show people, because you never know where you're going unless you know where you're coming from, man. So to look back now and to see people appreciate it, and I'm bringing magazines and they're like, man, I wish I had that. So that's why I call it nostalgia. That's that feeling you get when I pull out something old and you're like, oh man, that first 4 or 5 seconds, that's nostalgia. And that's what I like to give people.
So how'd you monetize off of this? Like, how'd you turn that into money? Because everybody wants to take what they love and pay their bills with it and live off of it. How did you do that? How'd you figure that part out?
That was the hardest part. I mean, not even the hardest part. It just wasn't in my mind. I always told myself never do anything for money. That was my only, because I seen so many things, people put money before relationships, for friends, and I seen money mess up everything. So every time I told you I made shirts for multiple people, never put a price on it. They may have gave me money, but I never said ironically, this is how much this is, pay me for that. None of that. I always just added value, but this is where the importance of friends. People like T.I., he would say things like, man, whatever you want to do to monetize it and how I can help, I would love to help you. Here's my managing officer, Toyan. Let's help him do what he needs to do. Killer Mike, man, what you doing should be a charge. You should open up a museum. We should do a coffee table book. What you doing is a job, like the Schomburg Museum in Harlem. They do this. So it started with like the Trap Music Museum. Mm-hmm. They curated a collection. You got any trap stuffs in there? So I'm able to do that. I'm able to do tours in there and bring other people. I brought Gangsta Boo in there and got to give her a tour and things like that. Yes, indeed. Motion Family. They would do music videos. And T Grizzly did a music video, Little Baby and Sada Baby. They were all there, Lil Durk. But he was from Detroit, so they needed a bedroom set that looked like Detroit. So when I had like Faygo Pop, Better Made Chips, Detroit Pistons jersey, and they put it on the set. So they gave me a check for that. TV shows would do stuff like that. They wanted a time frame. So I'll bring magazines out. So I started seeing stuff like that, but that's where friends came in. People like T.I., Killer Mike, Biddy. He told me, man, what you doing, man? Just start charging. So, ironically, during the 50th year of hip hop, anytime somebody asked me something, my next statement would be like, what's the budget? Mm-hmm. And that really helped me a long way because I did maybe over eight exhibits last year. So that was like personally my best year financially, my best year mentally and physically because I was able to do so many things and it was monetized and nothing was for free. And I was still able to do things for free, but it was a lot of things that just came through. It was like, oh, shit. And I always say this, like, I should have been charging for this.
Yeah.
But, when it's time, it's time. You know what I'm saying? But ironically, when I started charging, it was in the 50th year of hip-hop. So, you can't move. We on God's time. So I trust the process.
That's what's happening. That is what's happening, man. NuFace, the hip-hop hoarder. You're one of the biggest hip-hop heads that I know, and one thing about hip-hop is that it can take you anywhere, you know what I'm saying, and it can also jog your memory, you know what I'm saying. It's things that will take you back and like, damn, I remember when I got the news that Tupac passed away, you know what I'm saying, or when Big passed away. So what was one of the biggest moments in hip-hop that you could remember vividly?
Man, off the top of my head, I always say the top two is going to be the Outkast reunion at Centennial Park.
I was there.
Out at Last, it was called.
Outkast at Last.
I remember the whole process of one, Creative Loaf, and then the radios announcing it was going to happen. Mm-hmm. People was rushing to the stores, Publix, or Ticketmaster to buy tickets, and it sold out. And they had to add a second show. Yeah, and and I remember going to Publix over there in Midtown on was that Ponce. And got the tickets in there. That's ironically they sold tickets there, and I was lucky. So we got the Sunday show, which was actually the second show.
Yeah, I was at that one,
and it ended up being the best show.
Yes,
the best show ever. So that's a moment, and then just being there from the Bun B, seeing Tila, Jazzy, Killer Mike, like that lineup, and Erykah Badu and Andre 3000 actually showing up and being there.
Yes,
and Centennial Park, people were having fun and. Like, that's my most vivid memory because it ended great. Outkast reunited. We never got that. And, at that point, they was reuniting, but he was trying to find his mojo. He did the governor's ball, and he was dressing. But once he put on that suit,
and once with the message on it.
With the message on it, by the time he did that show in Atlanta, man, that Sunday show, man, it was epic. I still got the shirts, the wristband, and everything. Now, my second one's going to be is that 10-year anniversary of Jeezy at the Fox Theater.
Oh, yeah.
Trap or Die, Thug Motivation 101 10-year anniversary at the Fox because that show he had Usher, Kanye West, Andre 3000, Boys in the Hood, man, Scrappy, man, that show was fucking epic.
Like everybody was there.
And ironically, I did that the same day as a V103 car and bike show.
Yeah, that's why I didn't go.
I walked. I gave Envy a shirt. It was so funny. I said because the saying was "Keep it 100." That was when it was so funny. Yeah. I made a shirt that said "Keep it 103," like for V103, and I made it for Envy. I was with my girl, and it wasn't no Ubers around. We walked because it was at the Georgia World Congress Center, and we literally walked over that thing to the Fox Theater to that show, man, and that was like monumental, man, because Kanye came out. That was a legendary show, and that was one of them days like people was like, I remember seeing you at both. How you did both? And it's like, man, but those two stand out, man, personally, and that's a line of history. And if I said another one, it'd probably be that birthday bash when T.I. on probation.
Oh,
little flip.
Man, I was not there, but that was during the mixtape days.
Yeah.
So that's when they would take the raw audio and put it on the mixtape.
I got guns the size of Bow Wow.
Yeah.
Anybody seen Lil Flip?
Yeah, so I remember like just hearing it. You know, I'm in my boy 3, his Tahoe, and this is when Spinners had just came out.
Man.
You know what I'm saying? We on 22s and shit. Yeah. And we riding listening to it. And I'm just hearing everybody screaming in the background. And the thing about Birthday Bash was so big for me because my sister went every year.
That's me.
Every year. Her and her friends was there, Lakewood, every year. And that was just something that I wanted to do. I wanted to keep the tradition going. And like when I got to high school, but I ended up moving out of state for 2 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I was in North Carolina when the shit happened. But here's the thing though, when that happened, I was the only person up there with that song on the mixtape. The only person. So real shit. So like we was riding. We in Durham, so we riding through Durham in his Tahoe, windows down. Boom, 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 boom. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just like, damn, like pussy nigga, I'm the leader of the troops. You just following with suit. You know what I'm saying? And the thing is also,
a nigga wear a leprechaun suit.
Also, this is before everybody had cameras and shit like that.
Indeed.
So the little bit of footage that you see of that, you see it's all grainy and all that other shit like that. But this nigga was really in jail, got out just to diss him on stage, and then went right back into jail the same night. That was crazy.
You talk about grainy footage. So I got a phone. So I went to Kanye West's first show in Atlanta. It was at Earthlink Live in March. I want to say 20. I forget the year. But I went and I brought a disposable camera and I got a picture where it's Kanye West doing like this. And it's only one person with a flip phone up. And I only say that all the time because if you go to a Kanye West show, not everybody gonna have a phone. But I had one picture. One dude had a phone, and the other dude was doing like this. Kanye was like, "Put your diamonds up."
Yeah.
And I still got the ticket stub to my first Kanye West show in Atlanta, and I was at the first Kendrick Lamar's first show in Atlanta at Masquerade. Like I've been to a lot of people's first show. Schoolboy Q was his hype man. Dom Kennedy, Sci-Hi the Prince, early days, man. It's like that's what I'm saying. Atlanta has so much history. Yeah. One of my favorite like proud moments is being at Smith's Old Bar. It was a show with Yellow Wolf, Big Crit, and Sci-Hi. I went to that show. That very next week, all three of them got deals. Sci-Hi, Good Music, Crit, Def Jam, Yellow Wolf, Shady Records. Mm-hmm. And I'm sitting there like, I see it in real time.
Yeah.
These are my friends. Mm-hmm. And every time, like Crit said, they got the piece of art. Because I was still painting and stuff, so I made a Hometown Hero. I drew the lyrics of Hometown Hero on a piece of canvas, and they was telling me he still got it in the studio. Like, that was my way of, like, saying thank you for the music, because that was one of our favorite songs. So I would just draw the lyric and put the state of Mississippi, and I gave it to him at that show. That next week, he was signed to Def Jam.
Yeah. And you know what? It's dope that you say thank you to a lot of your favorite artists, because people look at me crazy when I say the same thing, you know. But it's like, if you knew what your music did for me, I have no choice but to just say thank you. I remember one of the first times I ever saw Big Crit perform The Vent. And I saw grown men. Tears down their face, wet faces. Like I was just like, damn, but like that's one of my favorite songs from Crit. You know what I'm saying? And just like anybody who just made me feel some type of way off of their music, off of their work. When I meet them, I just say, yo, appreciate you, man. You have no idea.
That's my line, too. And they be looking like, and that's why I tell people that's where I come different, because I don't ask anything of nothing. Sometimes I had the magazine. I was at the Versus and Jeezy and Gucci is right there. I didn't even want the autograph. That was their moment, and I was happy to be in there in Magic City. It happened. But I noticed when us doing that, just thank you, they be looking like, dang, that's all? Like, we want something else. But other people, it's so many people I see in that line. Oh man, can you do this? Can you shout? Can you do the mixtape? Can you do a verse? Like, no, thank you. I appreciate it, man. That verse you said, man, my grandma. That's it. And then I'm out. And because I know it's usually a line like Nipsey. When I met him in South DeKalb Mall, Greg Street was there, Jelly South DeKalb Mall, and there was a line of people who had the Pumas out there. And I got there and I was like, man, you know, I'm just a hip hop fan, and I got collections of Scarface. I showed him my Scarface autograph tape, Red Man and Nas. He was like, "You official?" And I was like, "No, I ain't official till you sign this Victory Lap tape."
$100 tape.
$100 tape, red tape too. And he was like, and once he did that, he was like, oh, you know, I always say when people pull out their phone, the artist, I got them, or they tell they photographer, oh, look what my man's got. Oh, that's official. And I'm being considerate because it's still a line of people, but me and him is chopping it. He's like, oh man, you got that. And we talking, and my daughter's sitting there like they arguing, is this Snoop? Like they don't know. They like, is this Snoop? I'm like, but that moment right there is because I'm trying to show people it's different. Everybody don't want anything. We just want to show love and appreciation. And ironically, we're in this age of giving people their flowers. And once again, I've been doing this for decades, bro. Yeah. Giving people flowers before it was the term. Now people got podcasts based around giving flowers. That's right. You know what I'm saying? But I've always genuinely been saying thank you to these artists like that, getting the autographs, and just all I want to do is say, man, thank you.
Yeah, and you just keep bringing up white pivotal days, but it's like I remember that day when Nipsey had that event because I met him here in the lobby downstairs, and it was just brief, you know what I'm saying? It was just, you know, dap up, what's happening, you know what I'm saying? But it's like, I'm glad I got that moment because if you was able just to get him in his most genuine form, you know what I'm saying? And majority of the time you would, you know what I mean? Because he wasn't with the extra shit. Never. But if you could get him just to talk to you for a second, because he's always about his business, you know, always on the move. But once you got to see that and feel that from him, it's like, damn, man, Nipsey's the coolest nigga in the world.
That's one of my favorite stories about Nipsey, too, is because I had that moment at the mall. But when he came back to do his show, there was an event at Opera. It was Big Boy, Rick Ross, and Nipsey, where they pick a producer, and whoever producer wins. It was like a competition. Yeah. And I was with DJ Kerosene, and me and Kerosene was just taking a selfie. But then Nipsey in the back door, like I didn't know it at the time, but when I get home, Nipsey in the back throwing up the gun, you know.
Hey, Trey.
And then when I left, he was like, "You don't remember me?" And I met you and your daughters at the mall. Like he remembered me when it's usually I see countless times of fans doing that to artists, and I because I be with artists, they just say just to keep it going. But you know, man, we went to high school together. You remember my auntie? But he remembered me in that moment, and that's real because it's Nipsey, and he do so much shit. So for him to remember me, I was like, no, that's solid. And that lets me know I made a difference. So I'm never going to change my little program or anything. But he was solid for that, man. So R.I.P. Nipsey, man. The marathon continues.
Yeah, most definitely. And you brought up the verses between Gucci and Jeezy. After the verses, they caught you outside. Cameraman caught you outside. And said, who won? I think that was a moment where God was using you for everybody. Because, you know, you're from Atlanta. That was a real thing. We took sides in that beef. I took sides in that beef. I know plenty of people who everybody chose a side.
21 Savage said on Shay, he was like, Gucci made me hate Jeezy.
Yeah.
Because he east side, so I got to stick with Jeezy.
Like for real, but like you said, Atlanta won. And every time I think about that, it's like, bro, that was the perfect answer. Because had I said it, I would say, yo, Jeezy won that. Even though necessarily you could make the argument that he didn't. You know what I'm saying? But that was the perfect answer because that's what the culture needed. That's what the city needed. We needed that. Like, we ain't need all that extra shit that was going on. Atlanta was already crazy as fuck during the pandemic because we wasn't shut down. You know what I mean? And then it was already a lot of tension in that situation. I was there for the after party, you know, but for you to say Atlanta won, I'm like, bro, that's the best answer ever because I promise you, if you ask any other person in the city of Atlanta right afterwards, they would have never said that. Nobody would have ever said that.
I honestly don't know where it came from because I was inside and I'm like, and I came through the back door and I didn't know how it happened, but if you came through the back door, you I guess that was Gucci's side.
Yeah.
So I didn't know that, but I went on that side. So, and I'm personally more of a Jeezy fan.
Yeah.
But I just once I'm in, I'm every time I'm in, I don't want to mess up nothing. Like, who are you? I just once I'm in, I'm against a wall and hopefully I'm invisible.
Yeah.
So I'm ironically I'm on Gucci's side. So that's Q over here, Holiday, Drama, my guy BP Brandon from CAU, but I'm seeing most of my friends are on Jeezy's side, but I'm like me, I'm gonna just stay here. So I'm right behind Gucci's chair, and my phone is blowing up. Like everybody texting me, like, "Man, be careful. How is it?" Like, and I'm thinking in my head, like, one, I'm from Detroit. Two, I've been in more dangerous places than strip clubs with rappers. But it's like, to me, it's like the outside perception that this is going to be dangerous. Yeah. I'm like, they not about to fuck up a Apple bag and a title bag and a Versus bag about some rap shit. But it just killed me because my phone, I'm died leaving there because it's like text. You okay? I was in there like, you need me to pick you up? Like bro, it's cool. It's rappers. It's Atlanta.
Yeah. And there was hella security up in there.
Yeah, shit. My only regret is like, damn, we in Magic City, nobody was dancing. Like, it wasn't no dancers. Like, I don't know, like, just even working.
I thought Ross had all the dancers on his side. Like, he had like 2-3 of them.
That was at Tree Sounds, that Versus, but I'm talking about in Magic City.
No, I'm talking about Magic too. He was in Magic, right?
Who, Rick Ross?
Yeah. I swear I saw a video with Ross in Magic City for that.
He had
versus.
dancers at his Versus, him and 2 Chainz.
Yeah, I remember
he
that.
He had strippers.
I remember that one.
I was at that one. Like, I've been in every, I always say that too, I've been in every Versus that's in Atlanta. Had no ticket, had no way of knew how I was getting in. Yeah. But every one.
I had one. I went to the, UGK,
yep.
A-Ball MJG.
Yep.
Yeah, now that was
Terminal West.
Yep. Yeah, good night.
My big shout out, Greg Street. Oh, NuFace was there.
Yeah. Yeah,
all
man.
in G, man. Yeah, man. Atlanta, one of them places.
So you've had some great moments in hip hop, you know. Do you think that you've had that one moment where it's just like, bro, I could really stop right now and this is it. I'm good.
Being on this Rock the Bells cruise and being at that Atlanta Falcons game, that 50th year hip hop, that one, because one of those moments, don't have a ticket, don't know how I'm getting in, I want to be there, just show up. The universe is either going to take care of it, ain't. I always say that. At least I know where it's at. Yeah. All I got to do is show up. The universe will take care of itself. So getting inside there, and I had a starter jacket, clean, Atlanta Falcons. Getting inside there, getting in, relationships, got in, got the little wristband, got the thing, so able to get, once I'm in, once again, I just follow with some homies, Fabo and Jelly. I'm just following, they ain't gonna tell them who you in. Then Mike and Tip, once I see like these faces, well, I know I'm good. It's like, all right, I'm breaking out the markers. We on the field. We got the the players walking out, free food, the drinks, Ludacris coming from the sky, King walking around being a young King, you know what I'm saying, and seeing all our heroes and me getting the same photos that the other rappers are getting, the photo shoots, and just sit and leaving out of there with every autograph of every rapper that was on there, like that moment, and it's all love. It wasn't no one that I probably never met, like, and that was a lot of rappers, like Young Scooter is probably one. I mean, I've been around, but I never, like, it's so that he's probably the only one. So for me, to be here all these years and have this kind of cool relationship with, to now it's like it's not me with the pen out. It's like, oh, I gotta sign that. Like, oh, NuFace, and it's like love for that one. So that was one of those moments. Like, if the 51st year hip hop is not celebrated enough, man, this year was great. And then the Rock the Bells cruise, to be invited, but to be commissioned and paid and have create the display on the boat, have access to not just be a fan, but be access, like I'm on the stage with Little John and Ross and Too Short and Manny. I'm eating breakfast with Kid Capri, like not with I don't want to say the commoners, but the regular people. I'm eating with Raw Digger and Manny Fresh and all of them. So that was like one of those moments, like, and I'm in Bahamas, like, and this is overseas. And so when I got to Miami, I went to Live. So to see Ross at Live, and then 2 days later, his people that don't know me, he know me, but them to see like, oh, this nigga really do be everywhere, because we in the Bahamas, this nigga on the boat. Mm-hmm. And Ross giving me bottles of Bel Air, so it's like, that's like, dang, like relationships. And I did hip hop trivia, Torre, and just to sit back and watch people look at my collection and be like, oh, I remember that. And they're like, that's one of them big moments, because an organization like Rock the Bells to acknowledge me, because that came from LL Cool J, like, and that's a full circle moment, because that was my first hip hop show. And I remember like 4 years ago being on Live, and he's like, I got to have my people reach out to your people. And it never happened, but when it happened, it happened. It was, I came to the show, I went to Rock the Bells Festival, we met, we got the autograph, then he said, I see you on the boat. Then they hit me, and it was like, boom. And even with that, I sent out a post when they announced the boat. Rock the Bells Cruise. I put out Nostalgia logo and Rock the Bells logo, and I put out a post like, man, just tag Rock the Bells and LL Cool J. And everybody did, but it was Bun B that was like, send me your phone number. I had him reach out. Then it was LL Cool J. I said, I have Mike reach out to you. And it was people like Gangsta Boo in the comments, T.I. and Lou Will, like Little John, like all these people was like doing what I asked for, but it was got to a point where LL was like, man, we got NuFace. We locked him in. Tell him to stop tagging me and and be on a boat. So that was like a full circle moment to like, that's what I did that for. And this is a full circle moment. So that was one of the moments like, it don't get no bigger. It can't, but hey, we here.
Yeah, it is, man. And not only that, you're doing other amazing things. So what, you got 2 shows that you're doing right now?
Mm-hmm. The New Style Live at Giorgio's. This is where I invite them to Giorgio's. Just on some fan perspective, we talk hip hop, we talk fashion. It's not really sit down. It's just real. I think about like Fab Five Freddy when he used to walk around. I think about like Camp TV when they just in the club, real just quick, like, you know what I'm saying. Then I pull out a little bit collection. Then we do 5 minutes of shopping. Let's see, like speed sweeping, like grocery sweep. We're giving 5 minutes to put an outfit together and test their style. Then shout out to my dog OG Jerry Clark. We on iHeartRadio, the story time with legendary Jerry. We just launched up last week. We had our first episode with Pastor Troy. We just launched a Young Bloods episode. So we locked in with iHeartRadio, Jerry Clark Podcast, so you can catch me on there. You can always catch me on some Bruh Man from the 5th Floor, like on 85 South Show.
Yeah.
I'm just like, you know, I'm on there like every other episode. We did Bun B, so I pulled out my stuff on Bun B. I pulled out my stuff on Wyclef recently. Big moments on there was with Birdman and Snoop Dogg. Them both, just to see me pull out my collection with them was epic. So make sure you check out that. And other than that, man, we just, you know, Little John, welcome to Crunkville, coming soon. Your boy getting your acting on. This will be my 2nd time. I played in a film called For the Gram. Shout out to King June. I co-starred with Roscoe Dash. So that was another film. And he called me back like, you know, we doing the Crunkville movie. And I was like, I don't know who I would look like. Maybe Lil L.A. from Trillville. They were like, no, we think you could do Little John. And I was like, what? It's like, well, in real life, he's calm and like you. Like, he's not, that's the personality. But in real life, y'all got the same personality. So I was like, all right, long as it's not like coming off like jokey joke on some Dave Chappelle shit, I'll do it. And then I did it, and everybody, and I put my best foot forward, and people were like, you look like him. You did it right. Like, so I'm letting the universe. And Lil John even was like, man, wait, that's you? So I feel like if he would have been like, man, he would have said something. Yeah, and so if everybody's saying that, now I'm riding full circle. So, you know, all those, looking forward to that, man. So yeah, definitely those shows. Be High, I've been on, you know, shout out to Be High, and of course Drink Champs. Once again, like Bruh Man from the 5th Floor. I'm trying to be like that. I'm being on everybody podcast. What you mean? Now we here.
Yep. Now, with all the amazing things that's going on, man, there's a lot of crazy things that's going on here in the city of Atlanta. Like, what's your thoughts on the current state of the city of Atlanta? You know, the Atlanta culture, music, nightlife.
Mm-hmm. I always see, and I always say it's like a disconnect, and I kind of put this, I was like, because I see it and I see the talk, and I try not to engage in it because, like you said, like I always say Atlanta won, and I'm going to always stand on that. I'm never going to pick a side. I'm never going to say that person right, that person right. I'm going to hear all sides, but I'm going to just show them proof that Atlanta is still that mecca, still that united front, still can win, still got artists out here winning. We got Grammy-nominated Killer Mike for the city, bringing one back to the city, so it's like, you know, and everybody got this talking this, but I'm outside. I'm seeing the DJs helping the artists. I'm seeing the artists still doing the showcases. I'm seeing it in real time. So I understand maybe it's not how you wanted to look, and I see all that, but man, I'm outside in real time, and it's still happening. I'm glad. I can't wait till this riff gets over, and because but it always happened, man. The cycle, you know, every 5 years is this new Atlanta. Yep. It's every 5 years, so I know I'm already prepared for it, and I know we're gonna be united again. We're gonna have another artist that we're gonna jump behind, and everybody gonna say we helped push them to this way. So I'm just waiting for that, but I'm never gonna be like, that whole hip hop is dead and that the DJ is dead. No, man, we just growing, bro.
Yeah.
Got to keep watering. If we keep talking about it, that's where your mind gonna go, man. That's where you gonna focus on that. You're gonna start doing the posts that prove your point. All these niggas DJs tripping. You just gonna feed into it. I'm gonna feed into the stuff that I'm liking. I'm gonna feed into the DJs that's supporting the artists. I'm gonna feed into your platforms like that and everybody that's supporting and building our artists. I'm gonna always see it that, man. But I don't like it, seeing it, but I realize it's there and I just won't feed into it.
Yeah. Totally understandable, man, because same here. And I'm saying this as a DJ. When I saw it, I was just like, why is this even a discussion right now? Because, I mean, the reality of it is all the DJs that was engaging in that conversation, no matter what side you was on, we all got the same problem. Everybody ain't getting their rate no more. You know what I'm saying? So what are we arguing about? You know what I mean? And I think DJ Plug, he had a very good opinion on it. He was like, man, listen, if you're doing what you're supposed to do, those that are, we ain't even tripping over this conversation. It's nothing to talk about because we handling our business. I do think that, with so much success that came from the city, a lot of people feel entitled in more ways than one.
I see that.
You know what I'm saying? Like, young artists who trying to get on, they feel entitled, like, oh, yeah, so made it. I'm from that same area, so, yeah, y'all need to be supporting me, too. I ain't doing all this work or whatever like that. And then it's DJs and, media personalities, too. I remember when at least once a year, it would be a whole argument about DJs not getting plaques. Yep. You know what I'm saying? And all this other shit. Oh, yeah, I broke that artist. And I was like, bro, because eventually it got to the point where it's like, what were you really doing it for? Like, were you really doing it because you genuinely love what you do
person,
and you love hip hop and you love the culture and you want to help that artist because you fuck with their music, or was you doing that for all this self gratification?
Yep.
Because I never even engaged in none of the breaking artists and shit like that. I was like, man, bro, because I know for a fact I wasn't the only person playing your record. Yeah. I wasn't. But, based off relationship, whatever. If you want to look out for me, cool. I ain't going to trip on this shit. You know what I mean? Yeah. I just want my city and I want this culture to keep going because for us, I'm 35. You're a little bit older than me. Just to think about how hip-hop was a daily facet for us. It was major. Just like brushing your teeth. That's what hip-hop was. You go to the grocery store with your mom and your grandma. We going right over there to where the magazines are.
That's it.
Even if you're not buying it, I'm going to read this shit while we shopping now.
Quick.
You know what I'm saying?
All the way up to the cash register.
Exactly.
Hold on. Okay.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. You get home, you got to watch Rap City. You go and watch 106 in Park. Or if you was outside, you recorded that shit on the VCR and watched that shit.
When you got home, talked about it at school tomorrow.
Yeah, like hip hop was that for us, and don't get me wrong, it's so much wrong with the industry and with the game, and we still have a lot of changes that we need to make. But for something so pure, it's like I refuse to just be at a point where I'm like, nah, bro, you know what I'm saying? Like, all this shit fucked up. Dog, some of the shit from back in the day, both of us can say this. The shit from back in the day is what has us doing what we doing right now. You know what I'm saying? So,
and I have DJ friends that went through that period where they was like, the music, like that they really quit DJing because they just didn't feel the music. And I always was like, okay, you don't feel the new music. I'm fine with that. But man, it's so much great music that I love so much that I'm not even gonna worry about what I don't like. Like to your point, what Plug said, just focus on what you love. Focus on what you love, and that's why I've kind of been known for not just breaking artists, but working with artists old and new. Like, I'm not gonna be the old head. Like you see, I've been with AMG Twins to Scrappy to Pastor Troy to Fabo, Young Ralph. Currently now it's like, and now to a T Villa. It's like, no, we can all. I got autograph from Savage, Lotto. Like, it's not where I'm just like, or like how my friends used to be the DJ. No, this new music. No, I'm gonna embrace it. I'm gonna check it out. And if I don't like it, you ain't got to know about it. But what I do like, you gonna be put on like a Trans Lee. Trans Lee was like, it's people telling me, man, NuFace. I follow his page and I seen it. Even Rick Ross was said publicly, like, you go to NuFace page, he the only one gonna post a Ghetto Mafia. He the only one gonna post something like from a Trick Daddy. It's like, do stuff like that rather than fighting, because that post you talking about the argument and posting about the drama, that could have been for a young new artist. Like that's what I'm saying. You taking your time away from what you love. Yeah. And I'll never get into that.
Yeah. There it is, man. Like you do so many amazing things, bro. We've been trying to make this happen for a minute, but I just want to personally say, like, you did a lot to inspire me, you know. And you know, I mean, we all trying to figure this thing out, you know what I'm saying? But the thing is, it's like you, first of all, you be happy, number one. I've never seen NuFace not smiling. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You're always happy, but it's just the way that you do all these things, because at the end of the day, you know, in your position, you know, like you're not working for no major media brand, you know what I'm saying?
Somebody put that on my comment. They was like, what's your 9 to 5? And I was like, but that's what they probably think, you know. And to your point, not always happy, and I am always happy, but when you see me, I'm usually have gotten in to the event. So I ain't never gonna be mad once I'm inside. Yeah. Like, you know what Chris Brown say, how you hating from the outside? I ain't gonna be hating inside. Like I made it in, and I didn't have no ticket. You know what I'm saying? So I'ma always be happy, but also it's like, man, I got a reason to be happy. Like. We lost so many artists, we lost so many friends, we lost so many people. We survived the pandemic. You know what I'm saying? My kids are happy, successful. I have no baby mama drama. I don't have a job, but I'm still somehow paying the rent. You know what I'm saying? I lost my car last year, but I never complained one bit and said I can't make it to nothing, because I never used it as a crutch. I just showed up. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I got a reason to be happy, and it's more out here than this, because this is just, I've been through the worst. I've been through a house fire. Yeah. Like nothing gonna be worse than that, and losing it all and starting over with burnt money, like starting from where how much I had saved. So I'm gonna always be happy because I'm above ground, and I know, and I'm doing it for a lot of people that was clapping for me and saw what I was supposed to be doing then. And I was like, I got to make them proud because they believed in something that I didn't see. So I'm taking this as far as I can. So I have no choice to regret or worry about some drama with some artists versus DJs. No, I'm gonna fuck with both sides and catch me on the winning at the top. Catch us at the top.
Fucking right.
You know what I'm saying? And to your point too, it's just still sharp and still, because again, we don't do this. We be tuned into the radio and I hear your voice, or when I'm in the car, I text you or I post it. Like, none of that cost. Yes. A lot of people don't understand it. And it's not when you just shout me out. Like, if you shout somebody I know, I'm tagging them like Sturgis. Like, that doesn't cost anybody. And people don't realize how priceless that is. Like, you know what I'm saying? I texted Mike, like I literally was in the shop, and then you start talking about the album, and 3 days later, you won the Grammy. But I'm in the chair, and the barbers, we there, and I'm like, that's in real time, because that's when it's genuine. You can't fake the payola or do this for, we don't have no agendas. Like, if you never shouted me on the radio, I'm still listening to you, because I show you, I hear you, I text you. Like, it don't have, but I want to see you winning, and I always see you in that position. It's like, man, that's happy, because you know how long I've been in the city. I got pictures of my first daughter on a V103 microphone with Ryan Cameron, and then from when Kenny was here, my granddaughter on the V103. I've been in this building many times, and to see the people that come and go, and I've seen how they evolved and got greater. So I know your future is limitless, bro. So anytime you call me, that's an honor, because I just showed the Greg Street clip of Ludacris saying, man, he was playing my radio like Greg, and you just talk about Greg Street playing Outkast, making them do a double album. Like, so I know your greatness is right in front of you. So I'm always clap, because people do that for me. That's what's up. And we don't need no agenda. We cause your win is my win. That's right. Like, you winning, what you mean? Your trade is right on my table. People might not know what it is, but when it makes sense, and then they see you later, and then it's gonna click. I ain't got to sell you. It's all gonna make sense one day, and that's always been my thing. Like, one day it makes sense. That's why I'm not always in the front. That's why I'm not saying me. I'm always posting. It's hard for me to even post. People tell me that, like, I don't even post the stuff that I do. Yeah, because it's weird, because I'm not used to it, but I gotta get to it. But I'm used to just putting others in front of me. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, honor, bro. Still sharp and still. Anytime you need me, anytime, man, I'm here. What you mean? Yeah, and not only that, another beautiful thing I've seen, you know what I'm saying, like, since our relationship began, is the fact of how your network expanded. I saw it. And, you know, that's the name of the game, the network. But like, I saw it. I saw the new connections. I saw it in real time. I'm seeing it. I'm just like, damn.
But you know what? The best part about it is you're one of the few people that I actually have seen, and I said, "Damn, I need to do that for me." Now, when you do that, that's when I know what you're doing is right, because I got to be like, "Damn, I need to do that for me." Shit, you know what I'm saying? Right. And then not only that, just other people I knew, you know, like my sister. Prime example, my sister knows you off of me, but the fact is, she'll come to me and tell me something that you doing that I probably ain't seen on the timeline just yet. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And I know, and just like her and other people, I know other people who want to meet you just because they see you moving, man.
I see the difference beautiful. When I'm out, because before, you know, I'd be moving to different events, and I would, when I'm ready to leave, I would leave. But now I notice that I got to give myself leeway like artists, because once I leave, it's, oh man, you NuFace, and I love, man, what you're doing for the culture. And it's like, it's weird because, and I told my daughters that, she was like, it's weird that you were the one taking the pictures, now people want to take pictures with you. And what I look like, acting like I can't take a picture. Yeah. Like, if I'm going to and the artist showing me love, so I had to come to terms with that. And even like with Instagram, people Translee told me that. He was like, man, you look at your following, you might have a post, one of them might be like 30 followers, but those followers is like Rick Ross and Lil Jon and T.I.
Right,
and Lil Will and the mayor. Like, I posted the mayor, Andre, Killer Mike thing, and Andre Dickens posting fire emoji. And I was like, oh, the mayor followed me. I'm looking at, okay. Yeah. And that's why I tell people, it's not about the quantity of the followers, man. It's the quality. So, like a post from me, my eyeballs is different, and I don't care about the million likes and all that. But if I post, like, Monica's tape is 16 years old today, Dallas Austin and DM me like, man, I ain't even know. Damn, how you remember that? Or Monica or DJ Mars and DM me like, oh shit, I gotta repost. I didn't even know. Like, thanks for the reminder. And it's like, but people don't see that. But they might just be like, oh, it got 10 likes. Yeah. But meanwhile, now I'm at the next Monica show with Carrie Hilson, and Mars is DJing for Usher. When you see me over there with Usher, you won't know, because, to your point, the relationship. Yeah. I garnered the relationship. I clocked for these people when it wasn't popular, and now look at where they at. Look at where they at. Yeah. You know, and so. That's why I always say that for Greg Street. I wish I was around that time, but I wasn't. But there's going to be a new Greg Street. There's going to be a new NuFace. So who's going to be those people? And that's why like with the T.I., my way of networking back then was, when I first got here, everybody went to the star. Yeah. Everybody went to the rapper. I started going to the person that was holding that clipboard, the bodyguard, the manager, the A&R. I started building relationships with them. Mm-hmm. So what happened was, I go in the room, everybody knows me but the artist. Yeah. And then they're introducing me to the artist. In full circle moment, I remember going to Atlanta Fish Market, and T.I. is trying to introduce me to Damani. Wow. Not knowing that I don't know, I'm locked in with Damani, and we just on some, because he, in real time, like, I fuck with him in real time. When early, I remember him doing comedy at Uptown Comedy Corner. Yeah. Like, he was just trying this for the show, Family Hustle. But I was there then, K-Dub brought him. Like, so I've been on the side championing his son, but his son, like, we know him, King too. Like, so it's like dope generations, you know. Like, now it's like dope to see the kids doing it. Like, and I'm clapping for both sides, because I'm a father too, so I know what legacy means. And and when King got in this situation, I sent a text like, man, just focus on you. I know the world is probably laughing and doing that. Just stay focused. Yeah. He's like, I appreciate that. That's all I'm here for, man. You know, our city is win, man. We still on top.
There it is, man. NuFace was there, and if he wasn't, the shit didn't happen.
You see the sticker? Let me make sure I get my boy one. He gave me the tray. So you got your official Freako Rico.
Oh, shout out to Freako Rico. Yeah. He was a guest on there too. Oh, that's my dog. Man.
And I got it. I'll just tell you this story about this guy, brother. Like, he made that logo for me, and a lot of artists do. Mr. Soul did my Nostalgia logo. Yeah. And it was at a time where I probably was scared to even ask what it cost. Mr. Soul did the logo, and I was able to do the merch, and he was like, I'd rather do more. Don't worry about the price. Once I was able to think I could afford it with Freako, I called him. He's like, man, I forgot I even did that. Like, I had this for a whole year, and I had Billboard, but I didn't even post pictures because I didn't pay him for it. Like,
yeah.
I didn't pay him, so I know how it is, but then I was ready, and he was like,
that's Freako Rico for you right there. That's genuine.
Love, because we know how the culture that is. Yeah. But he did say go and support the page.
Yeah.
He gave me his website, and I bought shirts for my daughters, myself, hats, the Trump one, the jail mugshot one, the Braves one. So, man, that's why I tell you, social currency is so important, man.
Yes.
That's what this is really my life, man. My life is like social currency, man. My daughter's name is Karma because of that. Like, when she was born 16 years ago, I was like, I'm going to just always put out good karma, no matter what. And so now she knows what that means, and she sees the fruits of my benefits. We going to the Atlanta United. We going to the back door in the suites with Lotto and 2 Chainz, and her dad got a jersey, and she got a jersey with her name on it, based off what? Relationships.
Yep. Hey, I hope y'all learned something off of this right here, especially all my youngins out there who trying to get into the game. I got something from him, and not only that, listen, if you just watch him, and when you see him, speak to him. Trust me, he gonna give you some games just in conversation. He gave me some game. He gave me some game at the museum. Shit, he'll give you some game. He'll give you some inspiration. You'll be ready to make a play. You know what I'm saying? And not only that, he did it his way. And he did it, like he didn't try to follow the trend. He did something that way ain't nobody else doing. Period.
Yeah. And I'll tell you a quick story again, how I lost everything. And I'm from Detroit, bunch of clothes, right? I haven't bought clothes in 8 years.
Wow.
This is black-owned brand.
Yes.
B-Wood, Giorgio clothing, Players University, the socks. This is from Georgia. Like, I haven't bought because black-owned brands know they'll send me stuff, and they picture. I might be in a picture with next to T.I. So they realize that, and I realize that. So it's like I haven't bought clothes. I buy it if I feel like buying it, but I never had to buy it, even down to the underwear. So the only plug I'm looking for is a car plug. If you want to get NuFaces there, any of these car companies in Atlanta, that's my only plug. I got every plug now. I found the shoe plug. That was my last one. I even got the grill, Scotty Grill, all free, man, off of love and relationships. So anything is possible, but I only say it because I thought I lost everything. And that was all material thing. I gained it spiritually and mentally first, and everything else came into play.
Hey, there it is. Keep God first, and always let your sauce drip. I be telling you. Here we go. Another example. NuFace, man. I love and respect, man. I appreciate you, brother.
Life, bro.
Hey, you already know. SauceTV.
Sign it off.
What you mean?
What you mean? NuFace was there.
Yep.